With the Venmo debit card, you can Venmo everything. Your favorite band's merch? You can Venmo this. Or their next show? You can Venmo that. Visit Venmo.me/debit to learn more. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Card may be used everywhere MasterCard is accepted. Venmo purchase restrictions apply.
The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. Central Texas Regional Mobility Authority is using Google AI to create smarter tolling systems and improve traffic flow for Texans. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American innovation.
After Zoomies at the dog park, it's time for Drive Up at Target. In goes a big bag of kibble and one squeaky chicken toy for the good boy. Drive Up that's ready when you are, only in the Target app. Just tap Target.
Yo, 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 and welcome back to the Banter Boys podcast. My name is Sanji, with me is Ryan. How you doing, boy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a long summer, but I'm good. I'm looking forward to the season starting, and most importantly, for drafts to start.
Yeah, I mean, before we get into the juicy content that the fans, listeners are wanting to dig into, I just want to catch up with you, bro. How's it feel being a new dad?
It's been a trip, man. It really is. It's been quite a wild ride. Yeah, a son was born on May 20th, and that just seems like a lifetime ago. Many 3-hour sleeps ago. But no, he's been a blast. He's such a little joy, handsome little chap. But yeah, he's growing by leaps and bounds. It's been a trip. The sleep deprivation has been rough, but yeah, he provides so much joy that it's absolutely worth it. But yeah, it's a weird time, but a good time.
Yeah, I mean, this is an audio-only pod. You do look a little sleep-deprived, but right, I mean, if
Why
anyone...
do you think I didn't want to do video?
If anyone has
like
seen
I'm
you...
panhandling for change.
You still look pretty good, right? You still look pretty good.
Yeah, a lot more grays already.
Yeah. I mean, how kind of him to be born just when the season is ending, you know?
I know. He was just like, I'm going to wait for your playoff league to finish, you to just digest a little bit, and then we'll go straight at it. And then by the time draft starts, I'll be 3 months, so you'll be good to go. So yeah, it was very, very kind of him.
Yeah, and even to celebrate birthdays and stuff, it's kind of out of the way. I feel like by then, especially a manager of your caliber would have tied up your leagues and stuff like that, and you're just chilling. I mean, we're gonna get to it, but come on, is there such a thing as is there a term for 5 titles in a season?
I think it's a quintuplet, but yeah, I was very fortunate just because. Yeah, some of the main draft picks that I had hunches on, I translated across the different leagues, and yeah, most of them hit, and yeah, I was just very fortunate. It was very tempting to just be like, okay, it's never going to get better than this. I should just hang it up, especially with a child. But like, I don't think I could do it. I don't know about you, but I don't think I could. I complain a lot, but I don't think I could honestly retire.
Yeah, it's honestly such a massive feat. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if you took a break from some of the popular community leagues as well. You need to give other people a chance to win, man.
Oh, please. That was the first time I finally got over the line community league. Although I got in really late. That was only, I think, the 3rd time I've been in it. Because, yeah, I had my main league for years and years, and then met up with these guys on Twitter and then Draft Society, and then I joined. But yeah, it was nice to get over the line. And then yeah, I did end up removing myself from the community league and consolidating to 2 leagues. So I feel good about that. I feel like it'll be manageable. Yeah, I think I'll be in a good spot.
Yeah. All right, listeners, you know what you're here for. You're here for the Inside Trax series. This is season 4 of this series. I can't believe.
Talk about, yeah, they grow so fast.
Yeah. And as always, as soon as the season ended, people were like, yo, when is the Inside Tracks dropping? When are the pods dropping? Like, people absolutely love this series, and I love it because we get to chat with fans, get their perspective of how their clubs are doing, what they're expecting, etc. But yeah, let me give the quick breakdown for how these pods go. So we have three main sections. So there's a general discussion. We're going to talk about the impact of any new manager or any sort of changes in the hierarchy of the club. Your club's season, basically previous performance versus new season's expectations. And then we're going to talk about old system versus new system. So the impact of any transfers to the current system or setup, expected formation and starting 11 for the upcoming season. And then we have a draft advice segment. So basically from the club that we're going to talk about, the first pick from that club, which round, the next few picks, at least one hidden gem and at least one trap. And then as always, we love to pick the brains of our fan Trax managers, so a bit of an advice segment. So we're gonna chat, strategy behind FA claims, maybe some trade advice, how to budget fab, etc., etc. But before we get started, let's do a quick fan introduction. Tell us your name, your Twitter handle or Discord, I guess. Which club you're representing today, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do.
Sure. My name is Ryan Barnes. My Twitter or X handle is CNFC82. I support Arsenal, which has been good and bad. I'm originally from the great metropolis of Cincinnati, Ohio. I work on international trade issues for a big tech company. Before that, I was in government. So yeah, but now I'm currently on paternity leave until the end of September. So I'm a full-time caretaker.
Man, when you mentioned Arsenal, your face did a little pained expression. I mean, okay, Arteta's still there. But I believe obviously you know better than I do. I think the one thing that changed was the guy who's responsible for the ins and outs, like transfers at the club.
Thank God. Yeah, yeah, Edu, who's interestingly a former Arsenal and Valencia player. Valencia was kind of like my first love in La Liga. Yeah, he was the director of the sporting director who handled transfers and did outside of like Rice and a few others did relatively poor job, especially last summer, which was a crucial window. He left. He thought for I think bigger and better things at Forest, and he was supposed to be the sporting director for all of the multi-club projects. So I think they have club in Greece and some others around the world. He was supposed to be the sporting director for all of those clubs, but it's all been big outgoings at Forest thus far with Elanga and potentially MGW, and so the fans aren't very happy with him. But yeah, good riddance. Andrea Barta comes in from Atletico Madrid, who knows how to strike a bargain. So far, so good. Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Madueke situation, but the rest of the signings have been good, and I'm holding out hope for Madueke. It's the sequencing and the timing of it. If they did that as a Saka backup after getting all of the big signings done and a left winger done, and we knew it was kind of as a backup and not as a left winger, I think we'd all be a little bit less apprehensive, but the timing of it was pretty bad. And so based on our previous experience, it's just like we all kind of fear that he's the quote unquote ceiling raiser on left wing instead of going after like Eze or Rodrigo. And that's the big fear. But if they can get an Eze and or a Rodrigo done, then it's a 10 out of 10 window in my opinion.
Well, I mean, Noni is not official yet, so we won't discuss him. We won't dig into that wound. And obviously, we're going to talk about the confirmed ins and outs shortly. But in terms of Arteta as an Arsenal fan, are you still happy with him as your manager? Do you think he can still lead you to glory?
Absolutely. The Arteta out people are so dumb. That just shows that like they weren't supporting Arsenal in the trenches of previous years where we went without silverware and without competing for a title for a decade. I mean, I am very thankful for everything that he's done. He could go second for the next 3 years. I really don't care. I think the frustrating bit is that you can see that we're so close, and to not get to the finish line is admittedly frustrating. But like what he's done for the club and making us serious title challengers, I'm incredibly grateful for, and I think all legacy fans really are. It's a big year, I think, more so for the players and the core group of talent that we have at the club. I think they need to get a tangible benefit from all of the good work they've been putting in. So I want them to experience that. But like in terms of Arteta, like I couldn't be happier. And like, who would we replace him with? Like that's just such an absurd fallacy that like he has to win silverware this year or he's out. It's just like everything is contextual and needs to be taken with nuance and kind of relative to where we've been. So I'm very happy with him. Do I want us to get over the line this season? Absolutely. Do I think we will? I think so.
Yeah, I mean, this is your third season in a row that you finished second place. How could you not be title contenders for yet another season? I mean, just to kind of go through a few stats from last season, you had the best defense still, only 34 goals conceded. You were tied for the fewest losses, which was 4. I believe that was with Liverpool as well. But I think where you guys kind of fell short was you were actually also tied for the second most draws with Crystal Palace, 14 of them. Only Everton had more with 15 draws. I mean, you still got to the semi-finals of the EFL Cup and the Champions League. And it's funny enough, I think the last time you guys lost in the semi-finals of the Champions League, I think it was in the 08-09 season against Manchester United. And I mean, look at where both clubs have kind of come and gone since then, right?
Yeah, we've also lost the semis against Chelsea with that Wayne Bridge goal at Highbury in I think 04-05, the Invincible season, or 03-04 rather. So yeah, that was tough, but like I was so happy with that Champions League run, especially on a personal level because as you know, my in-laws are all Real Madrid fans.
Yeah.
To have that over on them, and to like bet my son's fandom on that matchup without a striker with freaking Mikel Merino up top and just to dog walk them in both legs was just incredible and made it a successful season for me in and of itself.
Yeah, what stands out for me is the Decky Rice free kick goals, right? Like,
oh, God. Yeah.
It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
I know. The amount of times I send that GIF in my family group chat is just ridiculous. I know they're sick of seeing it, but I will never, ever get sick of seeing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because, like, I think when we chatted last in the Inside Tracks, we talked about, key injuries to, was it Saliba at the time? And that's when, you guys kind of lost the title race. But last season was even worse, man. 36 injury incidents, accounting for 1,297 days lost. It was the 4th highest injury burden in the Premier League. Yeah, it was crazy, the amount of injuries that you guys had.
And to the top players, like every one of our top players outside of Saliba and Rice all spent a really long time outside of off the pitch. And just losing Saka alone would have been enough. But like Saka, Odegaard, Kai, I mean, again, the business end of the season, we had Mikel Merino up top, and we still finished second, and we're a whisker away from getting to the finals of the Champions League. Like, if you're not happy with that, given all of that context, then I don't know what to do with you. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you look back at like Fantrax numbers as well, only 2 players in the top 50, which is crazy because like there's Saka in 36th, Rice in 46th, and it's crazy like Saka's there given how long he was out injured. And yeah, it's a drop off since the 23-24 season where you had 4 players in the top 20. But again, you have injuries like you mentioned to key personnel, the dynamic changes. Players like I remember when we last chatted as well, you had Trossard as a possible trap, and this guy played so many games this last season.
Yeah, without injuries, he's an absolute trap. But the fact that everybody was injured means he was nailed on. It completely upended all of the fantasy forecasts for Arsenal because if you just take Saka's stats as an example, he still finished above 16 PPS and would have been on pace to be the top scorer outside of Salah, who had a historic season. So like it was literally just the lack of games and the injuries that prevented all of these folks from finishing top 50 again. So yeah, just a weird season. We did kind of regress as a result in terms of total goals scored a bit, but I'm hoping that we can get back to it this season.
Yeah, your top scorers, Kai with 9, Martinelli and Trossard tied with 8. In terms of assisters, Saka with 10, Odegaard with 8. I mean, you guys are really, really screaming out for a number 9 more than ever, I want to say. And obviously it's not confirmed, and I think it's a nice segue into transfers. I mean, let's touch on the whole Gyökeres situation. It was a point of like hot debate, I think, in our last TDS pod that we did with the rankings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you give the listeners your, I guess, opinion of what you're expecting from Gyökeres once it's kind of confirmed?
Yeah, so I always leaned more towards Šeško, just because I thought he has a higher ceiling. I think his hold-up play and his kind of stature fits our system better. Having said that, still very young, unproven, whereas Gyökeres just came off scoring 600,000 goals in Portugal. He's hungry. He's peaking at 27. By all accounts, he gave up a lot to make this transfer happen. So he really wants to play for the club. I think he wants to prove everybody wrong, because he played previously in England. He was at Brighton, didn't get much time, and then he was loaned to Coventry before going to Sporting Lisbon. So he's got a point to prove. He's a monster. His first touch isn't the best, but he's relentless. He's a good finisher. He's really fast. I'm hoping that he can kind of open up a lot more transition and counter-attacking goals for us, because he's a monster on the break and creates space. So I'm hoping he kind of changes us a little bit. TBD as to whether he can kind of excel in the interplay and help unlock low blocks, like Fulham and West Ham. Those are like always the away games that we seem to draw or lose in a title race. If he can be a flat track bully like he was in Portugal against these teams, he will really help us out. In terms of fantasy, it's a really tricky one to call, because on the one hand, you could say that, for Christ's sake, Kai and Mikel Merino put up great numbers up top. Insert a crazy goal scorer into that system. Surely he dominates and puts up some crazy numbers. But on the other hand, it'll be his first season back in the Prem. He won't have as much space as he did in Portugal. It'll be his first time in the system, and Arteta really loves Kai. Will he share minutes up top with him? Because Kai bulked up during his injury. Layoff, and he just looks like a monster himself. So there could be a timeshare there. Yeah.
It's like he had the Fernando Torres training program,
Yeah, seriously. But he is still playing, whereas Torres just got yoked up. Same with Ozil. I don't know if you've seen him in a while, but yeah, they just got jacked up after finishing their playing careers. But yeah, he looks ready to go. So yeah, the knocks are, it could be a transition season, and he could share time with Kai, but the upside is clearly there. And so if he hits the ground running, maybe he makes the spot his, and Kai maybe, I don't know, rotates at LCM or elsewhere. Or maybe Arteta tries to tweak the system and allows them both to play up top. But yeah, the only knock really is potentially having some struggles early on in a new league, new system, and the potential timeshare with Kai. But again, the upside is definitely there.
Yeah. All right, let's touch on some ins and outs. Well, mostly the ins. Let's look back at the 24-25 summer window. I mean, there's obviously like popular names like we mentioned, like Marino, etc. But I really, really want to start with the kids, Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri. Man, they massively stepped up for you boys.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, Miles Lewis-Skelly. I'd heard about him in the academy as kind of a gem, but he, unlike Nwaneri, there wasn't as much hype about him, and he didn't get as many kind of early minutes as Nwaneri, so he was a little bit less known, but like, God, he is a beast. He started out as a midfielder, and then he just kind of plugged in as left back, and even when Calafiori was healthy again, he just would not give up that spot, and he was a monster at the Bernabeu at that young. Just shows that he's got a great mentality, and physically he's ready for the league, and he's just got a great touch. Can I think do more attacking wise this season, which is promising. But yeah, he just nailed down that left back role. And then Nwaneri, we all kind of heard about how good this kid was and saw flashes of it the previous season. But the silver lining of the injuries was that it allowed him to get a lot more playing time and kind of show us what he could do. And that beautiful left foot of his scored some really tasty goals. I really love.
Yeah, he scored in the first game that we all went to, I think, when Sam got the brace.
He scored I think he scored the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one of my favorite goals this season was the capper against Man City.
The 5-0 or something, was it?
Oh God, it was so good. 5-1. He scored. I think the fifth one.
Yeah, I think it was like a curler from outside the box. Or something like that.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Even better when it's against Man City, right?
Oh, dude, that and the Real Madrid.
The Holland celebration from Miles as well.
Oh, dude. He got so much shit for that. But I'm like, Holland throws a ball at Gabriel Magalhaes's head after they get a draw up a man at home. And Miles Lewis-Skelly does a celebration after scoring in a crazy win against them. And he gets this shit. But whatever. But yeah, both of those guys just stepped up incredibly. Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, because I think Nwaneri still needs some time to adjust. I don't think he should be thrown straight into the lion's den. It was good that he got the minutes, but he needs to, I think, be more of a backup this season. But I think Miles Lewis-Skelly will absolutely be a nailed-on starter at left back. But Nwaneri will be more of a backup, barring a crazy injury run again, which I think is good. And all accounts are that he should be signing a new deal this week. Thank God.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if everyone's fit, you guys have a massive headache in terms of like fullbacks and stuff like that. I mean, shout out to Kieran Tierney. I'm gonna miss him in the league. What was it, the Tesco bag that he was walking around with?
Yeah, always wear short sleeves, and instead of like a Gucci or Louis Vuitton toiletry bag, he just rocked up with a Tesco bag. Proper Scotsman.
Yeah, I remember it was the West Brom game. I think you guys won 4-5-0 or something like that. He was, yeah. He had an absolute monster game that game week.
Toddy was proxying for me that day because I had a family thing where we were in Colombia during the pandemic, and I was against like one of the worst people I've ever been in a league with, and like I wanted to beat him so bad, and I got Wi-Fi after the game and I saw it, and I had Tierney and Toddy streamed Holding as well, who had a crazy game. So I had Holding, KT, and Lacazette, and they combined for like 60 points. It was the thing.
Oh my God!
So poor guy had a lot of injuries, but I had really high hopes for him. I still have one of his kits, but good dude. I'm glad he got his move back home to Celtic. But yeah, he's what might have been.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned Calafiori as well. What are your thoughts and expectations of him next season? Because I think you guys have like real selection headache, which is a great thing for any manager.
Yeah,
just not us Fantrax ones.
Yeah, bad fantasy wise. This might like one of the best parts about Arteta as a fantasy manager was that he was pretty stubborn with his 11 and didn't rotate much, which allowed you to kind of outside of the left wing know that your guys are going to be starting week in, week out. This season we'll see how the window closes, but we should have a lot of competition at a lot of different spots. Calafiori, I was somewhat disappointed in just because he couldn't stay fit last season.
Yeah.
His goal against Man City early in the season was enough to make it a successful season for me. But he needs to stay fit. He'll kind of be a hybrid left back backing up Miles Lewis-Skelly and at left back and Gabriel at left center back. So it'd be interesting to see how Arteta uses him this season. But I think barring injury or like a crazy run of form, I think he'll largely be as a utility player or a backup.
Yeah. I'm not going to touch on Raheem Sterling. Less said, the better. I've seen him in person at Leicester, and that was a shocking
It's your problem, bro.
performance.
Yeah.
Mikel Merino, though, was another player that I saw in that Leicester game. Came off the bench to score a brace. I mean, we've seen it do it for Spain in the Euros. And, you know, he has the classic celebration of his dad as well. Yeah. What are your expectations from Merino for next season?
Similar to Nwaneri, kind of really stepped up when we needed him. Was not supposed to be the starting striker, obviously.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be kind of depth for Rice and the LCM role, but came in and did a job. So I love the guy. But like Nwaneri, he's going to go back to being a backup. So he's not going to be, I think, fantasy viable this season. Again, barring injury or rotation with Rice every now and again.
Yeah. And then finally, David Raya was confirmed from Brentford. A bit of a shaky start, but then, I mean, immediately proved his value. I think one of his best performances might have actually been outside the Premier League. I think it was Champions League against Inter Milan at the San Siro. That was the one that stood out the most for me. But yeah, what a signing he's been for you guys.
Yeah, that was a strange one because, like, we were relatively content with Ramsdale. He had some weird lapses of judgment and focus. And I'd kind of known Raya at Brentford and thought he was pretty good, but like hadn't really studied him much. But yeah, he's been a revelation. Great distribution, really great shot stopper. He's a bit rebellious and sometimes in terms of taking more risks than he should, playing it out the back. So that's given me coronary a few times this past season. But outside of that, he's been a great signing. So yeah, it's like one of those where you question it, but Arteta ended up getting that one right.
Yeah. Nothing really happened during the winter, but staying on the goalkeeper topic, from this season's transfer window, in terms of confirmed ones, Kepa coming in from Chelsea. I don't know what has happened between our clubs, Ryan, that we've started this trade channel.
Yeah, been a weird one. I never cared for the Czech or the Willian signings. David Luiz had his moments. He was at least comical. Yeah, it's been a weird kind of one-way traffic. And yeah, that made the Madueke signing a bit more hard to take, but it's not his fault. And again, it could end up being a good signing. It's just weird that it's been a continuation of almost outside of, I think, one season, the past like 5 seasons, we've gotten a transfer from you guys. So it's a weird dynamic. I don't know if it's a joint Ponzi scheme or what it is, but yeah, I mean, I think he's great depth. I mean, obviously he had his issues with you guys, but had a great season with Bournemouth and £5 million for the most expensive goalkeeper in history as a backup. I'll take that all day.
/ assistant manager.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't refuse to come out, then I think we'll be okay. And yeah, the taking over from Neto, who was the stupidest signing in history, was cup tied, so we couldn't play him in the games where we should have played him. And then I think he got maybe one start the entire season. It was the most wasteful bit of business I've ever seen. So yeah, cheers, Edu, for that one.
All right. Two other names that I would like to know whether you think they're fantasy relevant or not. But I think definitely great depth, leadership vibes as well. Both Norgard and Zubimendi. Let's start with Norgard, a player that managers are probably more familiar with, coming in from Brentford. I thought this was a brilliant signing.
I love it. Unfortunately, it took a while to kind of part ways with Thomas Partey, but I think he's the perfect replacement for him. 31, very, very experienced. He's a big guy, so he fits in with the set piece model. Good defensively and can pitch in with goals. 10 million pounds, I think, he's a great depth there. So yeah, I'm really happy with that signing.
Yeah, and then Martin Zubimendi coming in from Real Sociedad. Football fans would probably remember him from the Euros, Spain's title-winning one. More of a off-the-bench player for them. But what are you expecting from him from Arsenal next season?
Man, I'm expecting big things from him. Arteta's really wanted him for a while. Was prepared to wait. He was very close to signing for Liverpool last season, but decided to wait. And yeah, Arteta's finally got his man, and I think he's just going to change a lot of the way we play. He's very press resistant, can pick a through ball. I think he'll allow Rice and Odegaard to stay further up the pitch and not have to track back to get the ball, because Zubimendi will be able to hold off the press and pick the right pass, which will allow them to be in more attacking positions and not have to track back and then have to recycle and, create some stasis in the build up. And so I think he's just going to be kind of a game changer. No pressure, but I'm expecting big things from him, and he's young and on the cusp of his peak. I think he'll slot right in there and be a fan favorite.
Yeah. I mean, just to kind of timestamp this as well, recording July 14th. So I don't know if you're expecting any more transfers into Arsenal other than the ones that we've kind of discussed about Noni and Gyökeres, or maybe even Šeško. Any other names you want to throw out there potentially?
I think we're going to sign Eze and be done. We didn't mention Mosquera, who's a young 21-year-old center back from Valencia, who will be back up to Saliba. So I think he's a great signing. I know him from watching him in Valencia. Really talented, really high ceiling. I think he'll be great depth for Saliba. That's going to get over the line, I think, in the next few days. And then I think we'll sign Eze, and I don't hold out much hope for Rodrigo or a big left wing signing. I think Eze will be the left wing ceiling raiser, and he'll provide some depth in more central areas as well. So I think the full window will end up being Kepa, Norgard, Zubimendi, Gyökeres, Mosquera, and Eze.
God damn, that's a tasty spine.
I couldn't be happier. I was hoping for a big left wing upgrade like Rodrigo, but really love Eze. I think he can do a job over there. He's peaking. Spent some time in the Arsenal academy. By all accounts, an Arsenal fan. Premier League proven. There's relatively cheap. He's got a 65 million release clause. I think there's a lot to be said for that signing.
Yeah, definitely. So, given everything we've kind of discussed, then, what are you expecting formation-wise and starting 11 for the 25-26 season?
I think Arteta will persist with the 4-2-3-1. Raya in goal, Lewis Skelly at left back, Gabriel Magalhaes left center back next to Saliba, Urian Timber at right back, Zubimendi holding midfielder, Rice left center mid, Odegaard right center mid, Saka on the right wing, hopefully Eze / Martinelli on the left wing, and Gyökeres / Havertz up top.
It's interesting that Ben White doesn't make that lineup.
Yeah, I mean Timber kind of took over that starting right back role this past season. I mean White, again, like everybody else almost, outside of coming into the season, the two most injury prone players we had were Partey and, not a knock on him, but Timber, because he tore his ACL his first season, and those were the two most fit players in the team. So suffice to say, White had his time off injury wise, but even when he was fit, Timber was still preferred right back. So I think he'll push Timber, but Timber will start more games at right back.
Okay, amazing. All right. Anything else you want to touch on before we move on to the next segment?
No, I think we covered almost everything. We're about to talk about the fantasy value, but like a lot of these guys will not have fantasy value.
Yeah.
It's just not to bury the lead, but like a lot of this stuff is exciting in real life, but not fantasy wise.
Yeah, but I mean, I still love chats like this, right? I mean, just football in general. Give me a pint, give me a pod. I could talk for hours, but hopefully we're not here for too long.
Yeah. I gotta get
All right,
back.
let's get some draft advice then. Let's speak about Fantrax. That's why everyone's here. So let's talk about the first pick from Arsenal. I think it's pretty obvious, and which round. So let's maybe say which pick in that first round.
Bukayo Saka 1-1.
Nice.
Backing him to regain top overall score like 2 seasons ago. Like I said, he still put up pick 1 numbers last season. He just didn't have the starts to bear it out. So over 16 PPS. He takes set pieces. Everyone will be better based on Zubimendi and some of these signings. If he stays fit, I think he's a shoo-in to be number 1. I think Salah regresses a bit. I'm worried about Palmer. I think he'll have a great season, but I think Saka is the best pick for number 1, all bias aside.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Palmer just scored 2 goals, got an assist in that Club World Cup final. Looked like he was kind of shades to his best, but I can't argue against taking Saka 1-1. It really is a coin flip at that point, I think, depending on whether maybe you're a fan or not.
I mean, he also went through like a 30-game non-penalty goal drought, and I can't see Saka going through that. So I mean, Palmer looked good and is a great player, and I have him as my number 2. But I think there's more to be said for Saka, and we'll see if the Club World Cup, despite being a success, will be a drawback in terms of when the season kicks in. Like come December, like you might have some heavy legs based on the fact that they were playing in crazy heat up until mid-July.
Yeah, insane. Honestly, insane, man. The things people do for money. Anyways, next 3 picks from Arsenal, and which rounds?
So this is tricky. So I think in a lot of leagues, the next pick will be Gyökeres. I think I'm not necessarily giving away my inclinations, but I think in almost every draft, he'll be the next Arsenal pick. I think, especially given the dearth of forwards and the hype in a lot of leagues, he'll be taking around the latter part of the first round. I think there's an argument to be had around 7 or 8 after the elite players go off the board, and you want to take a swing for the fences. I think he'll pop up around there, if not early second round. And then after that, I think it's Odegaard, and I think he'll be late second round pick, and I think he'll be value there.
Yeah, I think I've seen some mocks where Odegaard has even fallen to the 3rd round. It's absolutely mental.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's because he had such a down year last season, but there's definitely reason for that. He had a had a really bad ankle injury. Didn't look himself even when he was back, but showed a lot of signs of his former self at the very end of the season, and will have had a nice break this summer, and should be able to crack on. And again, any attacking upgrades will help a creative outlet like Odegaard. And I said Zubamendi will help him out tremendously. So I think it'll be a bounce back year for him.
Yeah, and I mean, he was kind of missing his partner in crime, Saka, as well. When Odegaard was out, Saka was fit. Sure. When Saka was injured, like vice versa. Yeah, so that's definitely going to play a role. Which is your third, then, from those three?
So, Saka, Gyökeres,
Odegaard, and then who's your next one?
Next one. This will be a toss-up between... I think it'll be Rice. I think the signing of Gyökeres will deflate Kai enough for him to go after Rice, and I think Rice in the fourth round is a solid pick.
So consistent, man.
Yeah, he the set pieces really help him. Again, Zubamendi will help him be a bit more attacking. Helping that left side will also help him. So. Someone like Eze or Rodrigo will really help unlock that left-hand side. And one of the good parts about Gyökeres too, from my analysis, is that he likes to drift to the left, and so he'll create some space and more attacking thrust on the left, because we became so predictable over the last few seasons just going through the right with Odegaard and Saka. I think opposition defenses rightly focused on that to the detriment of our left side and overall attack. So I think some of these signings will unlock that left side and as a result help Rice a bit too.
Yeah. All right. A hidden gem from Arsenal. Which round?
Dude, this is really tough because they're mostly traps. After that, like, Zubamendi will be great in real life, but he's a defensive mid, and I don't think he's going to really eclipse Partey's 7-ish PPS, so he'll be a trap. Marino, despite starting up top and doing well last season, won't start. Nwaneri won't start. Martinelli will be rotated. I mean, there really aren't, I hate to say it, there really aren't any hidden gems. Miles Lewis-Skelly had terrible numbers fantasy-wise last season, but he has shifted from a mid to a defender this year, so he will be given clean sheet points. So I'm curious to see if that shift helps him out and a season under his belt. So I think he might be a hidden gem if Arsenal goes back to getting more clean sheets, and I think you can get him really late. So he potentially could be. But yeah, that's really it.
So it sounds like it's more a case of, and I mean, knock on wood, of course, but if there's an injury to a starter, you immediately just go get the backup. Yeah. That's your hidden gem, right?
Yeah, essentially. And it's not really hidden gem, but I think some of these guys, like Odegaard, for example, will be unfairly undervalued, and so you can get a value premium on them. They're not hidden, they're not sleepers, but you'll be able to get them for value.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, the silver lining.
Awesome. Any other assets you want to talk about before we move on to our final segment?
Gabriel Magalhaes, I think, is the only defender likely worth drafting. He had an injury at the end of last season, but was and always has been the best ghosting defender. He had a nice purple patch with set piece goals in the middle of the season. I think that will hopefully continue. I'd like to see where his ADP shakes out, but if you get to the 9th round and he's there, I think he's a pretty good value there.
Amazing. All right. So now let us get some advice from an experienced Fantrax manager like yourself. There's a few things I want to kind of touch on. Let's start off with trading draft picks. Are you for them, against them? Any advice there?
I'm generally for them. In the sense of trading fab for draft picks.
Yeah.
partially because I'm usually pretty good at gaining fab through trades throughout the season, like trading players for a bit of fab. So like I like to trade some of my initial fab in the draft to get good assets, and then I can reclaim some of that fab during the season with little nickel and dime trades.
Yep.
So
that's a Ryan Bond special, really.
Yeah, it's exhausting, and I don't think I'll have the time or patience to really do it this season. So I think, I might, I might not do as well as a result. But I do like doing that. So I like kind of finding a round where you like a player, but based on your current draft position, you probably can't get them. Find out where you probably could. Try to trade that manager for that round's draft pick by offering some fab. Tell him or her that that'll give them the initial fab lead, and any late signings they'll have the upper hand. This depends on you being kind of first. It's really important to be first to trade your fab for draft picks. It sets the market, and you can kind of sweeten it by saying that the opposition manager will have the fab lead as a result of this trade. So that's what I kind of like doing. Based on like previous drafts, it's like the going rate. Usually kind of judge it. It's weird. You judge it by like what the 4th round draft pick is worth. A lot of people think it's like 100. I try to like offer like 60 as an opening and kind of see what their appetite is. You can also just like supplement it with a later round draft. So like you could try opening with like 60 plus your 14th round pick, just to see. But I think I always like adding a pick in the 4th round, because you can kind of get folks like Tarkowski or like a really solid pick that potentially you can't get with where you are drafting from. So that's kind of how I like to do it.
Awesome. Waiver claims, FA pickups, any advice there? Do you go form? Do you go fixtures? Yeah, what's your secret sauce?
It's very important early days to watch as many games as you can. Adding the eye test with the numbers, because you can get some hidden gems that are undrafted based on the early games. So I like to watch as many games, game week 1 through 3 as possible. And I think don't be afraid to like drop some of your, post round 12 picks based on what you see in the first couple game weeks. I think you can also, so say for example, Wolves play Man City game week 1. Nobody's going to want to stream a Wolves defender that game. So why pick up like Totti or Agbadu or a Wolves defender in the draft? They're going to, if they are drafted, they will be likely dropped prior to that game. You can pick them up off the wire after that if you want to. So like looking at kind of the first couple fixtures and forecasting who you think will be dropped and who will be available and who you don't want to start game week 1, especially for your latter round picks. I think that's just smart.
All right. So from Arsenal assets, can you think of anyone that would be potential buy low or sell high options, either at the start of the season or throughout the duration of the season?
I think nobody's specific, but I think in general, Arsenal has a pretty tough opening set of fixtures. Man United and Leeds aside, we have to play at Anfield, at St. James's Park. We have to play City at home. I think some of their assets will be deflated after those opening fixtures. And so I think after like game week 6, you might be able to kind of trade them in low, unless they just kind of hit the ground running, which I hope they do. But I think it won't be anybody specific, but I think in general, their assets might be available at a better value after the first opening fixtures, that tough stretch.
Yeah. Okay. Now, fab budgeting. Are you the sort of manager that just splurges everything at the start? Do you just, you're wise with it? You try to save some up towards the end of the season because, people tend to do crazy drops. Like last season when Saka got injured, for example, there were a bunch of people that dropped him, and like people like Joe, for example, got him for like 3 fab, right? So you need that money towards the latter end of the season as well. So yeah, what's your strategy around fab budgeting?
I'm kind of a tweener on that. I don't like it. Doesn't make any sense to hoard all of your fab for like the January transfer window, for example. Like, and you'll get some really good value on the wire early parts of the season. So I tend to lean more towards spending it early, but I also like to have it later in the season when there's double game weeks or when like a few bucks gets you the best streamer that week. I think it's really helpful then. So I spend a fair amount of it early on, and then again I try to get it back during the season with those trades. So I guess I err more on the side of spending it early.
All right. Any best worst highlights in terms of trades, pickups from maybe last season or your career thus far?
Oh man, last season, I mean, I got Nwaneri and Marino last season, which was
which
was nice. Yeah, I got them in almost every league. I drafted really well, so I didn't rely as much on waiver wire pickups. But I got Dango off the wire. Man, I kind of put last season to the back burner. I'm trying to remember. Out of sight, out of mind. Trying to remember.
I mean, lack of sleep recently as well doesn't help. So.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I can't even remember what I did this morning. Yeah, that's a tough one for me. I was pretty good about getting some of the bigger pickups. That's going to haunt me because five minutes after we finish, I'm going to remember all of the
it always happens.
Genius moves I had. Yeah.
I mean, I would say, like, in terms of draft highlights for sure from last season, which I think stand out to me, is Cunha and Chris Wood.
Yeah, I mean, I got Mbumo in the 3rd round of one of my drafts.
Oh my god!
I got the moves that I made in every one of my leagues was I got Cunha in the 5th round in every league. Wow. I got Wood in the 10th round in one of my leagues. I got Iwobi in the 8th round in I think every one of my leagues. Those were the big ones, and those were such great value.
Yeah. No wonder you were clear at the top for the DPL.
Yeah, I also got Trax in the 4th. Like, I
oh my god.
Really well. Yeah.
It's like the perfect draft, essentially.
Yeah, my community league draft, like, looking at it, I was like, man, other than a couple, like Calafiori, like, stands out as one of the misses, but like, other than that, it went swimmingly. And it was the first year I had Salah too.
I had him in a league,
4th or 5th, I think. So it was
same.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, then finally, what lessons have you learned from your previous seasons that you think is good advice for current and new managers to our Fantrax game?
I think going with like some safe picks in the middle of the draft, I think has been good for me. Like I look at 2 seasons ago, I swung for the fences with a few players like Darwin Nunez instead of like going with someone like Jared Bowen. And like that sticks out to me as like, it's nice to go for complete upside, but like I haven't done well this few seasons where I've done that to the detriment of going like proven solid picks in like rounds 2 through 5. So I think you need to be just really well balanced in terms of like your punts and your solid picks. So like this season there's a ton of upside in Chelsea and Man City, but like
Yeah.
They're really risky, and like you want your Jared Bowens, you want a couple of those guys in your team that start week in, week out, and you know what you're getting to supplement some of the risky plays. So like that's something that I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, that is excellent advice because, I mean, shout out to Robbie for pushing the Bowen agenda. I think I believed him too late, but listen, he's not the shiniest toy in the box, but he is so reliable. Anytime West Ham do something, he's at the heart of it. And yeah, same way, like, you know, these new transfers like Nkunku from last season massively burnt me, right? And there's that potential trap like you talk about from, you know, Man City as well this season, all these shiny toys like Ryan Cherky, who else is there? Reinders, yeah. So they've got a lot of new faces, and you know, obviously the Man City assets are going to score, they're going to do well, but yeah, we want assets that will actually start games.
Yeah. Oh, Bowen was the other. I got him in the second round in that same league as Salah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, man. I hated Rodgers, but he was a good pick too in like the 9th. Yeah, man. I wish if I could regain like half of that magic this season, I will be happy. But,
I think you need to like print out that best 11 and just put it up as a poster in like your office or something like that, like a little mini poster.
Yeah, seriously, it's never gonna get as good as that again, ever. It's
Never.
just kind of sad, but
Yeah, Santi will never believe you when you tell him about it.
No, I know. Yeah, I need to make T-shirts for him. Yeah.
Amazing. All right, Ryan. Do you have any final words? Anything you want to say before we sign off, bro?
No, man. Just enjoy the next couple weeks. Watch some preseason. Do your draft prep. Get a cheat sheet going. Have your targets ready. Don't be afraid to improvise. But yeah, be prepared. But don't be afraid to change it up a little bit and do it live. But yeah, just enjoy the rest of the summer and get ready for another long slog.
Yep. And get the draft kit, guys. Come on.
Yes,
you gotta plug
absolutely.
that.
Get the Draft Society draft kit. We talked a lot about Arsenal, but my team preview article will be coming out soon, and we'll have so much more in-depth analysis and targets, and everybody's been putting in a lot of work, and there's some great articles. The undervalued over our valued article that I put out is, I think, one of the highlights for me, but we also have the do not draft list, the players we love but can't draft. Our rankings, we'll have another, I think, 3 iterations of those coming out. So there's a ton of stuff still to come. The heavy hitters still to come in the draft kit. So yeah, definitely get that before your draft. You will not be disappointed.
100%. All right, Ryan. It was a pleasure chatting with you as always, bro. Truly appreciate your time and your effort. Listeners, this is just the start of a lovely and most very highly anticipated series, I want to say. Yeah, can't wait to get through the lot of them. Stay tuned because there's tons coming your way. And I guess until next time, peace.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.